episode of A New Perspective. I'm Elder Pharaoh, and this is Muhammad Oliver, my man. And the topic of today is called Community Savers. And I'm talking about people who invest in their community, who are doing things for the youth, who are doing things just to help the community as a whole, and just to be an example unto everybody, you know, and save lives, because that's what it's about, saving lives. So the topic is Community Savers. This is Muhammad Oliver. He's the man, and I want him to explain who you are, your organization, and what you guys do.
Like you said, my name is Muhammad Oliver. I work for the Salvation Army. I'm the basketball coordinator for the North Service area. Came up with a program called Books and Basketball.
Yeah.
Want me to explain a little bit about Books and Basketball?
Yeah, explain about that, yeah.
Books and Basketball is a basketball program designed for kids 6 to 18 years old. It's basically academic support for athletes.
Man, so how the kids doing in that program? Are they thriving in it?
Yeah, we started the program probably two, 3 years ago. We started with 60 kids. Now we have 250 kids.
Man, that's good.
So we have boys and girls now. When we first started, it was only boys. Now it's just as many girls as it is boys.
Man, that's great, bro. And you said you work for the Salvation Army, right?
Yeah.
That's a big organization. And you know, it's Christian based, you know what I'm saying? But you're Muslim. How is it like being Muslim and working for the Salvation Army, a Christian organization? Like, how is it?
So for me, I started volunteering probably like 8 years ago. You know, I got kids. I got 5 boys and a daughter. I was just looking for something for my kids to do. I didn't know much about the Salvation Army. I didn't know the Christianity background. They came to me, asked me to start the basketball program up. They wanted to hire me. That's when I learned it was a Christian organization. So, you know, I was a little nervous. I didn't know if they know I was a Muslim or not. And when I told them, they started laughing. It was like, we know your name is Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So I didn't know how it would work. But in the first week, I had to like take classes, you know, like children's safety stuff, and it made me learn about the Salvation Army. And the guy who actually founded the Salvation Army, William Booth is his name. He started basically like in the gutter. He would go to bars and look for the worst people, and it wasn't really about preaching Christianity. It was about helping the community. When I learned his story, that kind of it felt righteous to me. Like, okay, this makes sense. Then I haven't had a problem as far as religion. I'm aware of what they're doing. They're aware of who I am. We offer services for the kids, the families. So like each building has a pastor in the building. In my building is Pastor Paul right now. And you know, my job is basically to get the kids in for basketball, and his job is to basically nurture to their souls. So you know, if they're looking for spiritual guidance, if they go his way, then you know, he does whatever he has to do. But you know, for the most part, it's smooth. I was nervous at first though. I didn't know how they would take it, but I haven't had a problem yet, and I've actually had a chance to speak at different Salvation Armies, meet different officers. So all the officers in the Salvation Armies are pastors.
Man, that's awesome.
So
why is it so important for you like to work with kids? You know what I'm saying? What makes you like have a yearning for it, like a heart for it? Because I know you're deep into it, man. You all in.
Shit, for me, it's the way we grew up. You know what I mean? We grew up playing sports, being around each other, having fun, and just raising my kids. Seeing how it is now is so much other stuff you can get into if you don't have a solid background in family, sports, or whatever extracurricular activity you have. So I just try to keep the kids off the street because that's how I'm here. If it wasn't for sports for me, you know, I don't know if you know my full story, but I moved to Vauxhall in '89. My mother passed away. My father passed away a couple of years later. My great aunt raised me. She was like 70 at the time. So for me, it was sports that got me acclimated to the community. It was playing football for the Rams in '89 when I got to meet everybody, you know what I mean? And those bonds that I developed in '89 still hold to this day. So I know how important sports is, and I try to do that for the kids in the community in the area I live in.
Man, that's awesome, man. So like you know, like I know a lot of kids come in with problems. They come in with like problems. They come in with like, you know, different temperaments and stuff like that. You have anything to help them with that too?
So we
like the mental aspect.
Yeah. So what we try to do is I try to put together a team of volunteers who kind of can help in all aspects. So we have different parents that's been through different things, and it's a lot of family support. So if a kid, you know, fortunately for me, the parents trust me. Unfortunately, that means I got to do a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
So I can get called for school issues. You know what I mean? I've been to schools without the parents, but I just try to be there, be available for them, be an ear for them to talk to, a shoulder to lean on. And like I said, I just try to keep as many people around, positive people around them, so that way they have outlets for anything that they need.
Man, that's cool. So it's like, all right, you go there, you work for 8 hours, and you're taking the job home with you. You don't just leave it there, huh? So you take it there with you, huh? You're always busy, huh?
I work 7 days a week, probably 20 hours a day. That's
So
what
it
feels like.
Yeah.
I get calls at, you know, we do breakfast club, so I get calls at 5 o'clock in the morning. Coach, I'm on my way. I get calls at 10 o'clock at night. Coach, my mother not home. I ain't got nothing to eat. So as you know, it's when you're dealing with kids, the biggest thing is being available and being there when they actually need you.
So what's Breakfast Club? What is that?
Breakfast Club is it's a elite training that we do 5:30 in the morning to 6:30. We do it 3 times a week. It's not for everybody. It's for those that's truly serious and focused and trying to get to another level.
Man, that's awesome, man. So besides basketball, like what other opportunities like do the kids have?
So, you know, dealing with the Salvation Army, there's so many other opportunities. Like, you know, we give the kids gifts for before they go to school, Christmas time. You know, we do angel tree investors. So they basically come in and they may sponsor kids for the program. We make sure everybody have a Christmas, you know what I mean? And it's not just for the kids in the program, it's for the community. So like, this is like the biggest season for the Salvation Army. We do kettle kickoff where we basically raise money for different area services and the kids, just to make sure they have a good Christmas. So we have social services, you know, for families that may be in need of rent assistance, or we have a program called the Kinship Program, which is for anybody who's raising a relative that they didn't have. So it's so many different things that the Salvation Army does for the community besides basketball. We use basketball to get the families in the door.
Man, that's good. Now I know some kids, like, you know, their parents might be atheists, might be Catholic, Muslim, and this and that, you know, and they come into the Salvation Army. Like, is there ever any issues, or are they just all coming to get this to save their kids? Like,
never any issues. Some people are not aware that it's a Christian organization. Like, for instance, when we travel, the pastor pray. I remember the first time it was done, you know, some of the kids looking at me like, are we supposed to be praying? I said, like,
that's right.
We here, we all together, you know what I mean? And so it takes a little bit of understanding what's really going on, and then the trust factor. Once they know I'm not going to lead their kids into nothing wrong, so they, you know, they just, certain parents may say certain things, but it's never really a conflict. I haven't had a conflict yet.
And what's the name of your team?
Team Salvation.
Team Salvation. I like that. Now, as far as like Team Salvation, right? What is your biggest success stories that came from your lineage? You know, from your work ethic. Like, you put your all into. Like, who made it? Like, what's one of your biggest stories?
So I'm gonna say this: success is defined by the person. I'll give you a few stories. My biggest success for me is just, you know, I got a couple kids who probably never thought about going to college, who end up going to college, playing basketball, and they thriving right now. Like, this year is the kids that I originally started with. So they were in the program when I volunteered. We had 8 seniors. All 8 went to college. 6 of them is playing basketball in college, and the other 2 just decided not to play basketball because they're trying to pursue professional opportunities elsewhere. I would say probably by the measurement of everybody else, the biggest success story would be a young man named Cliff Amori. Cliff plays for Alabama now. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year in New Jersey. I raised him since he was 14 years old. He was actually a part of, when I volunteered also, he was 14 at that time. Cliff probably the best defensive player in the country right now in college basketball. Alabama's #1 in the country, so he would probably be the biggest success story. But the biggest thing about him, besides basketball, is I don't know if you guys are familiar with NIL. So when NIL came into play about 3 years ago, international students couldn't make money. So Cliff decided to still build his brand, and he basically donated all his NIL money to the basketball program. And that's how we're able to move on today from the foundation that he set a couple years ago.
Man, that's awesome. That's what I'm talking about, brother. So Cliff never forgot where he came from, huh?
No, you know, the bigger you get, the more money you make, the different you are. But for the most part, his foundation is solid. He always check on the kids. He always talk to them. And like I said, he put his money where his mouth is when he had the opportunity to.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Now you located in Newark, right?
Yeah, we on 699 Springfield Avenue. The actual front door is on 19th. And we're there every day. We have food pantry, we have church, we have basketball, and on Central Avenue, that's where we do all the social work. So if it's, you know, if families are in need, they need help with anything, 45 Central is that address.
Yeah. So like kids from any neighborhood can go there, or you have to be a Newark resident?
No, so the program is designed to be cost effective for the Newark and Irvington area. Unfortunately, most residents in Newark make less than residents elsewhere. So my goal was to design a program that would give them elite activity for cheaper prices. Basketball has grown from a game that was for the have-nots. Those were the ones who usually were successful because they were so hungry to get about their situation, to now it's a game that is dominated by two-parent incomes. Very costly. You can pay up to $1,500 for a season of AAU basketball. My goal was to make it cheaper, so for us it's just $250. And what I do is I raise money to make sure that our kids don't look like it's a $250 program. So they probably get like $500 worth of gear to travel with, sneakers, sweatsuits, book bags. They travel, they stay in 3-4-star hotels. They go up and down the region from Virginia all the way to like Massachusetts, Rhode Island. And you know, some kids never left Newark, never left Irvington, never left Essex County. So that's what I find pleasure in, just taking them out, being able to see the kids enjoy themselves in D.C. They've never been to D.C. You know, things that I was able to do from basketball.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot, like, you know, because my son played for you.
Of course.
And it's funny because he couldn't even dribble the ball at first, man. And you took him like on Hawthorne Avenue.
Yeah.
I was like, man, just to see what the athlete that he is now. And it's funny because you helped mold him to the man that he is now. He's 16 now, and now he's not even playing basketball. He's a track star. The track coach is fighting for him. So I'm like, he went from basketball to a track star to it's like no limit to where you can take him to. And it's because of you, your other coaches. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, how did you pick the right squad? Because you got some great coaches. You got some Hall of Famers out there. How did you pick them?
I got lucky. I know a lot of good, talented basketball players, and at one time I had no volunteers, and people just start walking in the door. I literally never reached out to anybody to help me. They just showed up, whether they brought their son, you know what I mean, whether they brought their nephew. And, you know, when you're doing righteous things, the energy attracts people that's similar to you. Very lucky to have a group of people that work with me. If I didn't have them, I don't even know and they volunteers.
Yeah.
And they work just as many hours as I do.
Yeah. And it's awesome because you know how they say, like, I know when I played sports back in the day when we was younger, we was all there with our mothers.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, you know, and you know, you play with other people from other towns, like North, like a South Plainfield, all these towns in Pennsylvania, because we used to wrestle.
Yeah.
You see all the other kids with their fathers. Like we ain't have our fathers with us.
Yeah.
But when I go to your practice, there's fathers everywhere. I'm like, man, like it's like a big mishap, like, you know, when fathers ain't around, but they really into that program, and you know, and they there for their kids, man. So I like how you bringing everything together.
Yeah,
like it's just awesome. What you about to say?
The difference now is we have way more parent participation, like you said. The fathers come out, the mothers come out.
Yeah.
You know, we don't cut anybody in the program. I believe as long as you want to get better, you can get better. Basketball is just a small part of this. For me, it's really life lessons through sports. So a kid can come in the gym and be the worst one, but be the best personality. And I just try to help teach them what it means to be dedicated, what it means to put hard work into something. And most of the time you put hard work into something, you see the fruits of your labor. And so, you know, it's not really about skill. It's really about just wanting to be there. If they want to be there, I'm going to keep them there. And, you know, I'm crazy enough to think I can make anybody good.
Yeah, man, you're doing great, man. I love it. Yo, now you said it's more than just sports. It's life lessons through sports, right? It's more than just sports. It's life lessons through sports. What do you talk about with that?
So for me, playing basketball and playing football at a young age taught me to believe in myself. It taught me to work hard to achieve something. So that's basically what I mean by life lessons through sports. Like you asked about Breakfast Club. So in order to get a scholarship in today's basketball climate, you have to basically work harder than the next person. So I teach my kids to get up first, get your work in, go to school, do your schoolwork, then do your basketball after school, and then come back in at night. So if they stick to that formula, they'll be the first ones up, and at the end of their 24 hours, they would have did double the work than the average person, because the average kid is not getting up to about 6 o'clock. And he's really getting up, brushing his teeth, getting ready to school. They got to be to the gym at 5:30. So, I mean, all of us work. We got to get up early for work, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get up early to go train, it makes it that much easier to get up early every day and go to work. Yeah. So that's a life lesson. Yeah. You know, also, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're good or not. When the kid comes in and he's the worst person, the feeling that they get after coming in for Breakfast Club, coming in for the extra hour of work, it shows them that they can do anything. And that's empowering these kids by being able to show them that, you know, you can start at the bottom and work your way to the top. And that lesson alone, it just teach them that, you know, you can be a janitor and wind up owning the building if you really put the work in. So that's what I mean by life lessons through sports. And then, you know, sometimes you be in a game and you might run into a referee that's not your favorite, but you can't react because now you out the game. It's just like the job. You might have a boss or a supervisor who's not good. So I try to put them in situations that's kind of uncomfortable, so they could get used to being uncomfortable and still succeeding. That's the biggest thing for me. If literally, like, I can name 4 or 5 people that if I wasn't around them growing up, I wouldn't be able to do what I do today. I used to have a problem speaking in front of people. It was a lack of confidence. I wasn't confident in who I am and what I was representing. Once I developed that, it was easy. But sports helped that. Being able to score on somebody and yell or let it out, it helped me open my mouth and speak when I need to. So just life lessons, man. There's so many, you know, there's so many lessons you learn without your parents being around that I try to give it to them with sports, so that when they face that obstacle in the future, it'll be a little bit familiar, and they'll be comfortable with making the uncomfortable decision. Like, I don't want to go, because you guys ain't playing on my team anyway, so I've been without you for forever. So I'm gonna go back in the house while y'all go over there and do whatever y'all was doing. And you know, like I said, that's my ultimate goal is life lessons. Like for me, the best thing is when a kid chooses not to play sports anymore, but they know what they want to do with themselves. So it's like, you know, I know that doesn't sound right for a person who pushes sports, but like my son came to me. My son is at Clark University. Been working since he was 10 years old to get a scholarship. When he was a senior, he didn't get a scholarship, but because of my relationships, he had opportunities to play in college. And, you know, I was trying to push him to it. And one day he just came to me and said, "Dad, I don't want to play anymore. I want to be an agent." So I'm like, "You want to be an agent? You know, that's perfect for me." Because that means you've been paying attention to what I'm doing. So you understand what I need, because I help kids hire agents sometimes. So the fact that he was 18 years old and knew what he wanted to do with his future was amazing to me. That was way better than getting a scholarship. Because when I was 18 years old, I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I was making mistakes every step I took because I didn't have a father growing up. So to hear him say that, you know, at first it kind of stung a little bit. I had him all set up. You know what I mean? I had everybody who was going to take care of him, and he chose to take the other route. And we had a conversation last week, and he made me brought tears to my eyes because my birthday coming up, and he like, "Dad, I'm trying. You know, he's into wholesale real estate right now. So he like, "Dad, I'm trying to sell his house real quick so I could get a couple dollars to take you to an NBA game for your birthday." I'm like, "Don't worry about me." You know what I mean? Don't take care of me now. Take care of me when I can't take care of myself. Right now, I'm just happy that you in college, you know what you're doing, and you're not doing nothing stupid. Because I've done a lot of stupid stuff, you know what I mean? So to see that, that's bigger than basketball. Now, don't get it twisted. I love when kids get scholarships too. But the kids that get scholarship, they were already going to do that. The kids that go to college and figure out what they want to do, that's more special because they might not have knew that. And basketball, people, experiences help them define who they are and who they want to be, and that's the most important thing.
Another thing that I like that you're big on when I come to your practices is accountability.
Of course.
Like you always see like them kids, you know, they think they all that, you know what I'm saying? They walk in there, their chest poked out, and they 5 minutes late, or they 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. First thing you do, get on there, give me 100 push-ups. Run 100 times back and forth. Give me 1,000 jumping jacks. I'm like, man. So it's like they're sitting there like, hey, but they get down, they start doing it. And it's like now by the time they practice already an hour already. You know what I'm saying? And they're still doing what they do. Then they come in practice. I'm like, man. So like, why is it so important, you know, to hold these kids accountable and not let them? Because you know, like when you're good, you can get pampered. You know what I'm saying? You can get pampered. You can get shown like a little more favoritism. Why is it so important to do what you do with them as far as accountability?
Because that's how life is. You can't do anything in life without dealing with the consequence of it. And you're right. A lot of kids that's good get pampered. I don't believe in that. Now, I do have favorites, but it has nothing to do with your skill. It could be your commitment. You know, you hear every time when Coach Mo got a clean, you helping. But I try to hold everybody accountable because discipline is the one thing that will keep you out of harm's way. Every day you get a chance and a choice. You can choose to do right or you can choose to do wrong, but discipline is what will hold you on that path when times get hard. A lot of the decisions that people make is based on survival, you know, and discipline will teach you that you will survive no matter what step you have to miss to get there. So if you got to take the long route, you know, discipline will help you get there. So that's why I try to hold them accountable. They know the rules. There's rules when you come in the gym. You curse, 30 push-ups. And I don't even have to enforce it. The other kids enforce it. It's going to sound funny, but I tell the kids, you got to tell on them. If you don't tell on them, you can't be around them. and the reason why I'm like that is because it's my job. So when you think you sneaky doing stuff behind my back, you can endanger these 250 kids that we work with, and that we can't go to Virginia because you was messing up in the building. So I try to make the kids hold each other accountable too. And the funniest thing is when somebody do something, like a new kid come in the gym and he think he good, he tough, or she thinks she good, she tough, and then she curse and they all tell on her. And she be like, oh yeah, I tell them on me. They're like, yeah, Coach Mo tells we got to snitch around here. And then, you know, it sounds funny, it's a joke, but I let them know, like, I can't hold you accountable if you don't hold your teammates accountable. And if we have rules and we just breaking them, then it's lawless. And if it's lawless, then it's chaos. So that's just something that I do to keep them disciplined, keep them in line, keep them working.
Man, you surely are a man, bro. Because you said how many kids you said you have?
I got 6 kids.
Yeah,
6 kids. I raised 7.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you really got more than that. Because every time I see the practice, you got a truck full of kids. You taking them home and spending the night. You just all in there, man. I know they really appreciate it, man. So it's like I know it's like they want to play for you. You know, they want to succeed in life. They want to give their all. So it's like I just know that they want to make you happy. I heard kids say, hey, Coach Mo, when I make it big, I'm going to buy you this, I'm going to buy you that. You're like, man, don't worry about it. Just go to college. Just do what you got to do. Succeed in life. That's what make me happy. And it just feels good seeing a good mentor like that who's not about selfishness and stuff like that, man. It's, you know, it's not always easy, but you put the work in. I really appreciate that, bro. Really appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
Keep doing what you do, and I wish you the best, man. Now, tell people where you're located and how they can get in touch with you.
The address is 699 Springfield Avenue. If you have an Instagram, we have an Instagram page. It's called Team Sal 699. I'm in the building every day. We have an open door policy. You can come by, ring the bell, and if I'm not there, Miss Patrice will be there. And whatever we can help you with, we'll definitely do that.
And when does your season start?
So we do basketball all year round. We have 2 major seasons, fall and winter. Fall and winter is for the travel team for elementary and middle school kids. Spring and fall is for all levels from elementary to high school. We're there every day after 6 o'clock.
All right, y'all. That's we out. It's New Perspective, and we talked about community savers. Don't take it lightly what men and women are out here doing. Great things. We building. We're not tearing down. We out here. Peace.
Everybody take care.